All right, so I hope you're doing well, and hope you're having a good evening, and Merry Christmas. Without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite time of the year. Great time to celebrate, a good reason to celebrate. So I had a comment from a viewer, and I'll have to be honest with you. When I first read the comment, I said, that's stupid. So I apologize for that, bud. But after thinking about it and reading the comment over a couple of times, I said, now that would be pretty interesting if we could find this out for sure and see what happens. And his comment was something sort of like this. He wanted to know if we took one grass seed, one tall fescue seed, and planted it, nurtured it, got it to come in, water it, how big around would that plant get, or how big would that one plant get? And of course, I've always heard that, you know, a turf type tall fescue plant, when it reaches maturity, will be somewhere around the 3 to 4 inch in diameter. You got to remember, turf type tall fescue is a clump type grass, whereas, you know, Bermuda would be a spreading type grass. Fescue clumps up. That's one of the reasons it makes it kind of difficult when you're trying to fill in between clumps. It can make it a little hard to do that. But that's something different. Let's talk about this. So I wanted to set this up, do it, and also test out some different fertilizers or different methods and kind of bust up the sections and do some different things in different sections and see what happens. Now, first of all, disclaimer, this is by no means a highly scientific project. We're dealing with a plastic Tupperware container, some dirt from the garden, and a couple of spray bottles. So don't get real technical. Don't expect real technical results, because it's probably not going to be. So this dirt, if you notice, it's a little darker than most, but there is some clay in there. This dirt has come from my garden. Obviously, I'm not going to dig a hole in my yard to get some dirt, so I went out to the garden and dug it up. So the first thing I want to do with this is soil test it, so that I know what's in this soil, what kind of nutrients. So what I'm going to do is rake off some of these clods, like so. Get some of the bigger stuff, put them in this measuring cup, because we're going to need to create a good seed bed here in a minute. I'm going to take some of that, and then I'm going to take a handful of the loose. And by the way, the gentleman that recommended this, if my wife kicks me out of the house because I am doing this in the kitchen, and I'm going to have a tub of dirt in the house over the next month or so, you need to just go and shoot me your address, because I'm going to come live with you if she boots me out. So I'm going to get rid of some of these clods. And you can see here I've got some really highly scientific tools. This is kind of Pampered Chef rake. So I'm going to take and rake this out and try to sift through and get down to some loose dirt here, like so. All right, so there we go. I can probably do a much better job with a skid steer and a Harley rake, but I don't have that option right now. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna try this out. We're gonna split the container in half. Okay, I'm gonna draw a little line down here on the back side. Oh, here's my little baggie for the soil test. I will bust this up. Just a good rule of thumb for soil testing, you want to use a reputable lab. I'm not a fan of the state soil test. I'm actually getting ready to do a video on soil testing, and you will find out why. But a good general rule of thumb, you want the soil broken up and kind of fine. You don't want to leave the guy with a bunch of big chunks, because all he's going to do is have to break it up. So bust it up, and you want it a little bit on the dry side. So just a rule of thumb for soil testing. We'll have that soil testing video coming here real soon. So I'm going to split the container, and half of the container is going to get our custom 1822 mix, which is 18% nitrogen, 20% phosphorus, and 2% potassium. It also has the micronutrient package in it. The filler is biosolids to add some organics in this test, and then also has humate, granular humate, which we all know that's humic acid when melted down. So half of it is going to get, let's see, I'll put 1820-2 for this side, and then the other side is going to be the Anuvia 1612 with 17% sulfur and 3% iron. And I picked this up at the GIE show. Had no intentions of doing it, spreading this in my kitchen, but that's what we're going to end up doing. So we'll just see. And I'll just write Anuvia on that side. Now I'm going to split this up. So Anuvia 1820-2. I'm going to go one grass seed. You can see here I got one seed right there. And we're going to put him right here. And we're going to mash him in the dirt about 1/4 inch and put a little soil over top of him. Then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing over here in this corner. Put a little soil over top of it. Then I'm going to take and do 2 seeds. You can't see that, I'm having to squeeze them together. Put them side by side in the same hole, because you know that's a good representation of when you aerate and seed. Matter of fact, that's less than a good representation, because most of the time when you plug and seed, you end up with, gosh, 7 or 8 little seeds in one hole. So we'll put that there. And then I'm just going to grab a pinch. It might be 5 or 6 seeds in there. Maybe 7 or 8, something like that. And I'm going to put those here in the corner. Cover those up. Same thing for the other side. A little pinch. Alright, so we got 1 seed, 2 seed, and a pinch. 1 seed, 2 seed, and a pinch. And then right in the middle, where the 2 fertilizers meet, I'm going to put it on down pretty heavy. I'm going to let the middle kind of represent a renovation job. This is kind of crazy. Hey, it's pretty cool, pretty fun. We'll see what happens here. I'm kind of anxious to see about those 1 seeds coming up. Now, the downfall to this is I don't have heat. I mean, of course, I have heat in the house, but it's not the same kind of heat as that comes from the sun. It's almost December, so I'm going to have to improvise. I'm gonna probably set this thing over top of a heat vent, so maybe it can warm up the dirt. When it's a nicer day, I will take this outside you know, set it in the hot part of the yard or something and see what happens. So I'm gonna take my little Harley rake here and work this seed in the ground a little bit, like so. Let that represent an aerator. Really working that in. I have to wash this stuff. All right, a Nuvia on this side. Now we're gonna go, I have no idea what the rate is on this thing, which you're supposed to use, but it is in a convenient little pepper shaker. That's nice. We're gonna go kind of heavy on the fert, right there. All right, let's see. Yeah, you can see that. I'll give you a close-up in a second. All right, and then here is our other. Now, obviously, I have no clue what rate of nitrogen I'm putting down or any of this. I don't know. I'm just spreading it out on here. Just want to make sure it has some food if it comes up, when it comes up. All right, so that's that. Now, here's something else I'm gonna do a little bit differently. Of course, here's my water, so we can water it in like that, and I'll water it probably every morning before I go to work, and then I'll water it in the evening when I get in. This way I can control the moisture and keep this seed bed good and moist, so it will kind of represent a irrigation system in a way, like so. Now, here's neato right here. This is, let's see, I haven't squirted any of this out, make sure it's right. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, this is water, and this is 9-18-9 along with 1% sulfur. The sulfur is gonna aid in cracking the shell of the seed a little bit. And then we also have some RGS, humic acid, kelp, and fulvic acid in here. Just a little bit. It looks really dark and really rich, but I mean, this is just a quart, 25 ounces. So it's not even a quart. So I'm going to water it in with this about, I'll probably go once a week with this. So we'll replicate a weekly feed of some liquid nutrient along with humic, kelp, and fulvic acid. We'll just see if that helps out or not. I have no clue how fast this will come up. I'm gonna guess, with it being inside my house and sunlight will be limited, because I'm sure I'll forget to take it outside some days and that kind of thing. I'm gonna guess 10 to 12 days, roughly. So we'll see how that works. So anyway, there you go. We will see what happens, and I'll be posting updates on the, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I have no clue what to call it. Check you later.